Do I need the microphone? Yeah? Okay, good morning everyone. Lovely to see a full room. I hope you're all well. Thank you so much for making the effort to come today from your various locations. Also welcome to those who are watching this virtually later on. So the title of my talk today is called Leviticus. Hands up if you're familiar with Leviticus. 3 people? 4? Maybe 5? I won't embarrass some people, but I heard some funny stories about Leviticus today. But the reason why I picked this talk was because I feel that it's really related to this 40 days period that we're entering now of atonement and refreshing. And Leviticus in a nutshell is about atonement and connecting to God. And that's the end of my sermon, thank you. I'm just joking. Actually, I have to thank Aunt June who familiarised me with Leviticus. The River South community had a 24-hour Bible study condition, and I saw the message going around and I was really apprehensive to join. My attention span's not very long, and to sit there for an hour reading the Bible of all things was a challenge for me. But Aunt June persistently sent me this email and WhatsApp message a few times, so I thought I better join this condition that was happening. And when I looked on the form to sign up for this condition, all the juicy, if you like, parts of the Bible were taken, the Psalms, New Testament, and there was a few sections in the Old Testament available, and Leviticus was one of them. And at the time I had read very little of Leviticus. I had a brief idea of it, but I thought it has a great name. If I was to open a gym, I'd probably call it something like Leviticus Training Systems, or Leviticus Forged from Iron, or something like this, but I thought it had a really interesting name. So I started reading through the book of Leviticus, which is the 3rd book in the Bible. And to be honest with you, I was really unimpressed with it to start with. I know it has this perception of it being boring, repetitive, and how do I say, very black and white, and very uninspiring. Often these comments are made about Leviticus, and within Christian forums, and when I was doing research for this talk as well, many other Christians have also shared a love-hate relationship with this book in the Bible. But after studying it and trying to understand this period that we're entering now of 40 days of atonement, of refreshing, of re-purification, I realised that this book actually is really relevant to the situation that we're in, and is really relevant for our spiritual lives. So Leviticus starts with the Israelites coming into Canaan. What's that song that we sing? Rejoicing when we enter the land of Canaan. Is it?
Spring of Life.
Yeah, by the Spring of Life. So it paints this picture of finally travelling for 40 years in the desert is over. We're entering this beautiful land of Canaan with delight, I think is the lyrics of the song. But actually God was really unpleased with the Israelites when they were entering into the land of Canaan. And Leviticus is Moses trying to guide the Israelites through God's commands and God's will. And I'll read the opening part of Leviticus. And the Lord called unto Moses, and spake unto him out of the tabernacle of the congregation, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, If any man of you bring an offering unto the Lord, you shall bring your offering of cattle, even of the herd and of the flock. And what's really interesting there is that God was speaking from the tabernacle to the Israelites who are outside. They were unable to enter the tabernacle due to their unholiness and due to God's displeasure of the Israelites' behaviour, spiritual attitudes, and their hearts that they had towards God. I was trying to reflect upon this, and if you're an Israelite travelling for 40 years, wandering through the desert, doing various conditions, carrying all your things with you, living a nomadic life, that can be quite difficult. And I could relate to that on a similar level with my 1-year experience on STF, which is 1/40th of what the Israelites went through. But after a year of service, of hard work, dedication, and trying to grow and put myself out there, I had some really deep experiences. My most profound one was when I heard the voice of God when I was praying, trying to understand if God was real. And that was a really touching, life-changing moment for me. But as soon as STF was done, my 1-year mission service was over, I kind of left God and the experiences I had in that part of my life, and I thought now is time for me to focus on my education, focus on my marriage, focus on developing myself. So I can sympathise a little bit with the Israelites after spending so much time wandering, so much time being frustrated, trying to align themselves with Moses, and then finally they arrive in Canaan with delight. So I can relate that after you work hard, you feel like, okay, now's my time to take the foot off the pedal, if you like. Now's my time to relax, go into a routine. Perhaps Alma, who came down from London yesterday for some volunteering in Cardiff, also gave a testimony today, might say, I've given so much to the community, I've given so much to God over this weekend. Perhaps today I'll just skip my prayers, skip my morning condition, which I think can easily be done. We can slip into this mindset of, I've given so much, I feel like I'm done now. It's time to relax and kind of cruise on my past achievements. But this is not the way of faith, and this is not God's way, and this is not God's will. God wants a personal, intimate relationship with us, and as we know through our own relationship, that takes investment, it takes continual growth on both parts. And as we know through the book of Leviticus, God's investment was continual.